What's going on, Troll Nation? Neil here from Off-Road Trolls. Going to answer a question today that I've had a request for of how to smooth and paint textured plastics. Just painted that razor a while back and had to smooth the plastics out so I could paint them, and I think it turned out pretty good. It was for myself, so I didn't do as good of a job as I could have, but I've got another project in here right now that we are working on, and I'm going to try to do a really nice job on that. Right now we got Jeff, with a really bright light behind him, is working on this piece. It's a rocker panel off an X3, and he has been taking a DA or orbital sander with 220 grit paper and just kind of knocking down the top parts of it. And when he gets done with that, we're going to be taking and water sanding it with a sandable paste to get into all the little fine groove areas. And when we get to that point, we'll come back, which will be like right now. So what we have here is, I don't know the brand, Axalta. They took over DuPont. This is, I think they took over DuPont. This is a sanding paste. Just gonna take some people will call them a Brillo pad. I call it a woolly pad. Some people call it SOS. It's just a pad, sanding pad. Gonna take just a dab of this. This piece has already been sanded with the sander. Just gonna take a dab of that. That'll probably be enough to do almost this whole thing. I'm just gonna work it in like such. You don't want to go fast. You want to take and make sure you're getting every possible spot, because you got to have paint and primers stick to this piece of material. So you just go and sand the whole piece. Take your time, don't go fast. Haste makes waste. If you go too fast, you're gonna screw it up. You can't have nothing without a little hard work. So we'll skip to the next step here in just a few minutes, and that'll be getting ready for some primer and some mid-coat adhesion promoters. Okay, next step, and I cannot stress enough how important this is, and I shouldn't shake it around so you can see. This is a plastic mid-coat adhesion promoter. If you do not use this, paint will not stick to your plastics. It may stick for a while and it may look good, but if you ever seen a vehicle run around with a bunch of paint falling off their bumper cover or their side-by-side, it's because they did not use a mid-coat adhesion promoter between the plastic and the primer. If it does not get on there, paint will not stick. This is, again, Chromax, Axalta. Almost everything you're going to see me use today came from CarQuest. You can just walk in the door and grab it off the shelf. So very, very important step in this. And make sure you shake the crap out of it and just give everything a nice coat. Don't want to spray too much. Don't want it cool enough, but just make sure every surface is covered. That easy.
Now, Neil, what do you want to say to the people that are probably going to ask, why can't I just use a can of Krylon Fusion Plastics paint?
You can, if you want it to last a season. If you want your paint job to last, use professional grade stuff. There's a reason it's called professional grade, and it's a reason it lasts. Okay, next part. And like the plastic adhesion promoter, this is something I cannot stress enough. Flexible primer. if you're painting on plastics or something that is going to be doing flexing, especially on a four-wheeler, a dirt bike, a side-by-side, you want to have a flexible primer. Otherwise, if it does flex, the primer will crack. Again, Carquest, it's like 18 bucks. So make sure it's shook up good, which I've already shook it up good. And then just first coat, you're going to want a light coat. You don't want to get it too heavy. But you want to get in and do even coats. Again, no, don't let it pool off anywhere. Don't let it drip like I just did right there. That'll be sanded off. Be smooth and even with everything. And then you're just going to take, it's going to take several coats. This is not a particularly aggressive texture, but some of the other stuff is more aggressive, and it will take more coats to fill in the textures on those. And that's all you're doing here is this primer is filling in the texture. So it makes it smooth. If you want to have a smooth finish, very important step. You saw, well, maybe you saw, I'm not sure how I put this together yet. I did have some of the texture plastics have already started to be prepped. Those were just ones that were ready when I was ready before, and here is basically the rest of them. There's a couple more pieces hiding, but that's it. All right, a little bit of an update. Been a couple hours since my last one. Everything has got a coat of primer on it. The mid-coat adhesion, plastic mid-coat adhesion promoter has been put on. A flexible primer has been put on, and it has now been sanded once, and we are about to do another coat of that. So that's where we're at right now. All right, everybody, we are still smoothing out textured plastics. We are at the stage now, we have had, I believe, 3 coats of primer on most of these surfaces. It's not gonna really show up on camera, but the texture is pretty much gone at this point. We are going to put one more coat of primer on this before we leave tonight and let it dry completely overnight, and then sand it smooth tomorrow when we get here after work, and then we will be ready to paint this. So that is how the cookie is crumbling, so to speak, or the dust is falling, and there's plenty of dust.
Lots of dust.
Because there's plenty to sand. Okay. All right. I'm a bad YouTuber. We've been here for 2 hours. Haven't turned the camera on yet. So, everything is final sanded. We are hosing down floors and getting set up to spray. Again, all of this stuff is going to be sprayed tonight. So, hopefully everything works out really good for us. All right, folks, we are doing our final prep, getting ready for paint on these textured plastics that we smoothed. Jeff's wiping everything down with a prep solvent to get rid of all the wax, grease, fingerprints. Even though he's, obviously putting more fingerprints on it now. This will just prep it for paint. So the next step is going to be taping off the stuff that we don't want painted and laying some color down.
Alrighty, folks. First coat of clear is down. Let her sit for a bit. Neil's over there making up some new clear coat. And we're gonna hit everything with a second coat. Make everything even shinier than it is now, if you can believe that. Looking good.
Alright, after many late nights, I forgot to record an outro for this video, so I figure I'll use the owner's video that he sent me from his driveway as the outro. So here she is, all done and put together. It turned out absolutely beautiful. Could not be happier with the results. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, share. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you on the trails.